Today's first lesson gives us a wonderful opportunity to look at the book that we got in our summer faith formation kit called God's Holy Darkness. Our first lesson today is the creation story from Genesis 1. Our book begins by talking about creation and the role that darkness plays in creation. You know, so often we think about night as being a scary time, or we think about darkness as being less than good. But this book gives us another point of view. This book reminds us that some really special things happen when there's very little light or when there's no light at all.
Often compared to lightness and whiteness and day, and found deficient. But let us name the beauty and goodness and holiness of darkness and blackness and night. God uses darkness and blackness and night to show love for the world. Creation began in the dark. In the beginning, darkness covered the face of the deep. God poured out love and brought all things into being. Creation is God's work done in holy darkness. When Abraham began to doubt God's promises, the Lord took him on a walk and pointed to the night sky. Look toward the heaven and count the stars. If you are able to count them, so shall your descendants be. Later, Jacob wrestled all night with God and was changed forever. The beginning of the many nations and peoples of the Lord is the work of God's beautiful darkness. At midnight, the Lord passed over Egypt and set the people free. Samuel heard a small voice calling to him in the dark and became a mighty prophet. When the temple was complete, King Solomon said, "The Lord has said he would dwell in thick darkness. The Spirit of God dwells in the holy darkness, where we are all invited to be held in God's love." Angels appeared to the shepherds in the dark and told them of a baby in a manger. The disciples gathered with Jesus for the Holy Supper as the day turned to night. When Jesus died on the cross, the day went black from noon to 3. Creation began in holy darkness, and our new lives as free people in Christ began. In the darkness of the sky that day, God saved all creation, and it was the work of God's beautiful, good, and holy darkness. Rich black soil brings forth abundant life. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a single grain. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. The deep dark of the ocean holds more life than has ever been discovered. We are reminded of the size of God's creation through the boundless, beautiful black of outer space. From the beginning of creation to the stars in the night sky, we are shown God's love. In houses of worship with dark spaces for wonder, we are held in God's love. In the dark soil and the deep sea, we are reminded of God's love. From the promise of peace made to the shepherds at night to the promise Jesus made on the cross, these are the beautiful works of God's holy darkness.